All right, let's dive right in. We've got a huge economic mystery on our hands. I mean, something's happening right now that seems to fly in the face of everything the textbooks tell us. It's making a lot of smart people rethink what's actually driving our economy. And today, we're going to unpack it.
So here it is, the big question. You hear about trade barriers going up, right? High tariffs, more friction between countries. I mean, common sense says that should pump the brakes on the economy. But it's not. The US economy is actually growing, and growing strong. So what gives? How is that even possible? What are we not seeing here? Okay, look at this, because this really lays out the contradiction. On one hand, you have Econ 101, right? It says higher tariffs are basically a tax. They should slow things down. But then, look at what's actually happening. The US effective tariff rate has shot up. We're talking from 2.4% to 13.6%. That's huge. And yet, the economy is just expanding. This isn't just a little blip on the radar. It's a massive, head-scratching puzzle.
Well, it turns out the answer isn't in the usual places. The old playbook, the one that just looks at trade, it's missing some key chapters. To really get what's going on, we have to look at two powerful, and I mean really powerful, engines that are quietly driving everything forward. These aren't just offsetting the tariffs, they're completely overpowering them.
So let's get into the first engine. We're calling it the stabilizer. And this one involves taking a hard look at something that can be, well, a little uncomfortable to talk about in this context: strategic military spending.
Now I know, talking about military spending as a driver of economic growth can feel wrong. It's a morally complicated topic for sure. But, sometimes you just have to be honest and look at the numbers and the reality of the situation, even if it's uncomfortable. Honesty takes courage, and if we really want to understand what's happening, we have to have the courage to face all the facts, not just the easy ones.
Believe it or not, this idea has been around for a long time. It's classic Keynesian economics. Think of it like this. When the economy's engine is sputtering, the government can step in and basically hit the gas. In this case, military procurement, buying planes, ships, tech, acts as a massive injection of fuel. It creates jobs, funds research, and that money just ripples out through the whole economy.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. There was a recent, really in-depth study of 14 countries in the Middle East and North Africa. And what they found was pretty stunning. They concluded that military spending was actually productive and growth-enhancing. Now that's counterintuitive, right? You'd think it would be a drain. So, what's really going on there?
And here's the key insight from that study. In really unstable parts of the world, it's not a simple choice between guns and butter. It's more like, you can't even make the butter if you don't have the guns to protect the farm. Security becomes the absolute foundation for everything else. What this research shows is that this kind of spending creates a stable enough environment for businesses to feel safe investing for the long term. It's not just a quick boost, it's about building the floor that the whole economy stands on.
Okay, so that's the stabilizer. Now let's talk about engine number 2, the one we're calling the accelerator. And this is all about the absolute explosion in AI investment that's happening right now. You gotta love this quote from the chief economist at Fitch. He called it the rescue of the robots. How perfect is that? It's this idea that this incredible wave of tech and AI investment is literally swooping in to rescue the economy from all that drag we were talking about from the tariffs.
And the numbers, wow, they're just mind-blowing. Fitch Ratings estimates that spending on IT capital, things like servers, software, all the AI infrastructure, is going to make up almost 90% of US GDP growth in the first half of 2025. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. 90%. It's not just part of the story. For that time, it pretty much is the entire story.
And this isn't just theory, it's causing real changes in forecasts. You can see right here, Fitch actually had to bump up its GDP forecast for 2025, and it's all because of this tech boom. But wait, there's more. Think about the stock market. All this AI excitement has sent stocks soaring, which creates what economists call a wealth effect. Basically, when your 401k looks good, you feel a little richer, right? You're more likely to go out and spend. And that effect alone is expected to add almost 0.5 percentage point to consumer spending. So you're getting a double whammy boost here.
So here's the bottom line on this second engine. The amount of money pouring into AI and tech from the private sector is just so massive, so powerful, that it's basically soaking up all the negative impact from those tariffs. The rescue of the robots isn't just a clever phrase, it's what's actually happening in the economy as we speak.
All right, so we've got our two engines, but the really interesting part is how they work together. This isn't just a coincidence, it's a whole new economic paradigm. So let's just walk through how this works, step by step. First, you have the stabilizer. The strategic spending on defense lays down a solid foundation. It creates security and baseline demand. Then, on top of that strong foundation, the accelerator just blasts off. The AI revolution floods the zone with private investment and innovation. It's like one engine builds the launch pad and the other one is the rocket.
So, what does this all mean for how we should think about the economy? Well, it means the old tools just don't cut it anymore. If you're only looking at trade policy and interest rates, you're missing the biggest parts of the story. Geopolitics and the spending that comes with it isn't on the sidelines, it's a main character. And disruptive tech, especially AI, isn't just a sector, it's the primary engine of growth right now. Which leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? We're living in this wild new era of geopolitical tension and just insane technological change. The forces driving the world today look nothing like they did 20 or 30 years ago. So maybe the books we use to understand it all are out of date too? Is it finally time to just rewrite the rules of economics?